The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, alongside the Minister of State, Maria Mahmood, and top officials of the FCT administration, arrived at the House of Representatives wing of the National Assembly for the Budget Defense session of the 2025 FCT Appropriation Bill. The session moves into a closed-door meeting. The discussions at the meeting were not made public as the delegation reconvenes before the Senate Committee on FCT. This time, the meeting is open to the media. The minister begins his presentation by giving details of the 1.7 trillion naira 2025 appropriation bill.
The 2025 budget is aligned with the federal government budget parameters, comprising distributable revenue of 1.3 and non-distributable revenue of 391 billion.
The lawmakers commend the minister for the trajectory of his development in the territory so far and raise some concerns.
Looking at this budget on page 6, I saw, in my estimation, a factory of 78 billion. How would you utilize that 78 billion?
The indigent or the displaced persons roaming in Abuja. It is not enough as Nigerians driving them, arresting them. What you need to do is to do what the Kano state government did as far back as in the 70s. That is picking the indigents, if you know, and you have a camp where you can feed and train them so that they will be off the street.
In response, the minister rejects the advice to set up a housing scheme for displaced persons.
This federal capital territory, the way Kano, the way River, the way Sokoto, the way Ondo will not be the same way that will happen in the FC. Those you are talking about, they are not indigenous. As a city like this, with the federal capital territory, where you have all the international bodies where they reside, it will be difficult for you to follow that kind of pattern. Now, you talk about security. Also, understand that this is where the president resides. The chief of army staff, the chief of defense staff is here. We don't have that autonomy as for autonomy to take the entire security architecture of FCT.
The committee is expected to make their recommendations and submit the report for the Senate to consider and pass the legislation. Kumbi Aboluade, Channels Television News.